Hey guys, so this is part 2 in the series, and I'm just going to go ahead and pick right up. Um, this is part 2 in the series of the thread about where we're coming from in the whole Kenneka Jenkins case. So I'm just going to carry on. And again, I will link any articles that are pulled up. I'll link them in the description box for everyone. Okay. It's from Digital Soldier 1745, and he has put part 2, she has put part 2 onto Twitter. So it says, this is part 2 of my research into the Crown Plaza Hotel in the village of Rosemont, Illinois. Here is an excellent article referring to the, quote, body parts business in Rosemont, which still continues today. Let's go to this. This is from the Cook County Chronicle, titled Unregulated Cadaver Parts Industry Helped Build Rosemont's Reputation for Surgical Training. Wrote by Jean Lotus, January 20th, 2016. There's a picture of the Orthopedic Learning Center in Rosemont. It's a, quote, bioskills lab which uses cadaver parts for surgeon training. And this article is a part 3 in a series on the body parts trade. So I'll just read the first little portion of this. It says, in January 2015, the FBI raided the Rosemont offices of a for-profit human tissue donation firm as part of an investigation of a multi-state illegal body parts ring. Biological Service Center, Illinois, was renting Suite 505 of the 9501 West Devon Avenue building, which houses Rosemont Village Hall and the police station. The FBI also raided the company's Schiller Park crematorium, which they allege was the source of more than 1,000 dismembered human body parts seized in raids in Arizona and Detroit a year earlier. The raids put a spotlight on what the FBI called the black and gray market in human tissue used for scientific research and training. So I will link that on there as well. Okay, back to the thread. There is also a massive tunnel system in Illinois. Rumors of tunnels beneath O'Hare Airport, which came up when many were reviewing the surveillance footage from the Crown Plaza Hotel. Here is a link to this tunnel system, and we know that this is fact. So both of those things are fact. This is from encyclopedia.chicagohistory.org, and it is just telling about the tunnel systems underneath the city and what they were originally used for, etc. And I will link that article in the description. Something sinister is happening in Rosemont, and has been for a very long time, and it's time that the criminals in Rosemont face judgment for their crimes. Approximately a year after the murder of Kenneka Jenkins, a Rosemont police sergeant was arrested for holding up gas stations with a gun. I'll show you this article from the WashingtonTimes.com. Police sergeant charged in gas station robberies by Associated Press, Sunday, September 16, 2018. I'll read the first little part here. A suburban Chicago police officer, sergeant, and another man have been charged with robbing 2 area gas stations at gunpoint. The Chicago Tribune reports that Rosemont Police Sergeant Edward J. Karras and Wright W. O'Laughlin of Chicago have been charged with armed robbery. The men were arrested Thursday after they were spotted in a vehicle similar to the one used by the suspects in a robbery the day before at a Park Ridge gas station, and police saw that they looked similar to the suspects. I would encourage everyone to search the reviews for the Crown Plaza Hotel in Rosemont. Some very strange reviews going back years. And I may do a video on that because I did that once. I went and looked at their reviews and they were quite interesting. It's just something to see anyways. Just so you can kind of see what's been going on in that hotel. And if I'm not mistaken, most of the reviews were verified at that time. So they were actually from people who had actually stayed there. I know that they did do a cleanup of those reviews at one point. They were deleting some, so I don't know if they're still on there or not. But anywho, now we will discuss the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office. The Cook County Medical Examiner's Office has been under scrutiny for years. Here is an excellent article highlighting the issue. This is from the Sun-Times. I also have a video or two, maybe, about the medical examiner on this channel, if you want to go back and look at those. They're not very long. This is from the Chicago Sun-Times. It says, despite law, medical examiner investigators go to fewer than 1 in 5 death scenes. And I probably won't be able to read through this article, but it's by Tim Novak and Robert Herguth on February 3rd, 2018 at 7:33 a.m. Oh, it might actually let me. Cook County Medical Examiner's Office routinely fails to send investigators to the scene of suspicious deaths, a Chicago Sun-Times investigation has found, despite being required by law to do so. It says over the past 3 years, the medical examiners investigators have gone out on fewer than 1 in 5 cases. That's just crazy. It says here is another article about the difficulty of getting any records from the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office. Let's check this out. This is an article from chicagonow.com. Titled, Cook County Medical Examiner's Office is a Joke, Especially on Valentine's Day. It's wrote by Ray Johnson, February 14th, 2016 at 6:16 a.m. It talks about the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Here's the main part. I've read this article before. It says, I conduct a good amount of research as part of my profession, and I request a good amount of public records from various sources, and have never run into a public office as inhospitable to the public's right to records as this office. I can't believe the excuses coming from this office as to why they cannot provide records. Again, I am not talking about any records since it became a medical examiner's office, but referring to coroner's inquest records. I can only speak about my personal experiences with the office because I don't like relying on hearsay accounts. I have only requested 3 coroner reports for myself in the last 10 years, and can say that I have never received any reports and only excuses when I would call to follow up. In one instance, I called about a request and always received the same answer. The person on the phone said that the person who pulled records from the, quote, warehouse only would go once per week, and the records were quite the mess, and it could take about 6 months for a response. So, you're more than welcome to view that article. It's really interesting. Back to this. And another article about them cleaning up since it was discovered they had bodies stacked on top of each other and body parts thrown in boxes. And this is from the Washington Times. Oh, my bad. From the Washington Times. Cook County Medical Examiner cites improvement at office by Associated Press on Sunday, April the 5th, 2015. It says the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office, which once garnered headlines for allowing bodies to pile up and get tossed into boxes, has made changes that county officials say could lead to the office becoming a national model. Since taking over in 2012, and seeing an increase in funding from the county, Chief Medical Examiner Dr. Stephen Senna has hired more doctors and made technological improvements, according to a story published in the Chicago Sun-Times. All right. There is the link to the Kenneka Jenkins case files that were put up by the Rosemont Public Safety in response to several FOIA requests. All the police, quote, narratives, all of the surveillance footage which was clearly edited, and finally, some great news. Let's click this. It's from Core Magazine. Nationally known trial attorney J4K Community to represent family in freezer death case. Dated December 17, 2018. It says Southfield, Michigan, December 17, 2018. PR Newswire. Attorney J4K Community and the family of Kenneka Jenkins will hold a press conference on Tuesday, December the 18th, 2018 at 10 a.m. to discuss the filing of a $50 million lawsuit against the Crowne Plaza Hotel and others. The press conference will be held in the conference room Atlantic Aviation Services, Chicago Midway Airport, 6150 South Laramie Avenue, Chicago, Illinois 60638. The phone number is 773-582-5720. The lawsuit alleges that the Crowne Plaza Hotel and others were negligent in causing the freezing death of Kenneka Jenkins, age 19. It says here is a link to that press conference. This is Ethic Radio, I believe. I will put a link to that because we're not 17 minutes and 50 seconds. But I will put a link so that you can watch that for yourself. Then to go on, it says, finally, after 2 years of hashtag we the people, trying to help get justice for Kenneka Jenkins, this amazing lawyer has accepted the challenge and is now requesting a jury trial to look at all the evidence. Praise God, justice is coming, baby girl. Hashtag justice for Kenneka, hashtag Q Army, hashtag digital soldiers, hashtag J4K. This is part 3 of his or her threader. This is part 3 to Let's Shine a Light on the Village of Rosemont, Illinois, which is in Cook County, Illinois. Corruption and evil in high places. During the Kenneka Jenkins investigation, we learned that the Murray brothers, yes, I'm referring to the Hollywood Murray family, Bill Murray and his 5 brothers and 3 sisters were opening a Caddyshack restaurant in the very kitchen that Kenneka's body was found in. Yes, the kitchen that was unsecured, where hotel guests were able to just wander right into. Here's an article. FSRmagazine.com. Titled Murray Brothers Caddyshack Restaurant Headed to Chicago. Excuse me. July 6, 2017. It says Murray Brothers Caddyshack Restaurant has signed an agreement to lease 8,600 square feet of space located in the village of Rosemont at the Crowne Plaza Hotel in Chicago. The 6 Murray brothers, Bill, Andy, Brian Doyle, Ed, Johnny, and Joel, and their 3 sisters, Nancy, Laura, and Peggy, grew up in Wilmette, Illinois, and all agree that Rosemont is close enough. Goes on to say the village of Rosemont is a fitting location for our next restaurant. And I will link that article. Here's another article on the deal. Chicago Tribune article. Bill Murray and his brothers to open Caddyshack restaurant in Rosemont. by Samantha Baumkamp, Chicago Tribune, July 6, 2017 at 7:14 p.m. Excuse me. Bill Murray and his siblings are set to open a restaurant in Rosemont dedicated to Caddyshack, the classic movie featuring a vengeful greenskeeper, excuse me, and a devious gopher. So they've got that going for them, which is nice. So this kind of tells you how Bill Murray got even brought up in this case. He was opening the Caddyshack restaurant in the place, the same hotel that Kenneka Jenkins was found. Okay. The Caddyshack was set to open in December of 2017, which it didn't open on time due to the death of Kenneka just 3 months prior on September the 10th, 2017. Here's the article for the December date set. This is from patch.com. My bad. Bill Murray and family set date for Caddyshack restaurant in Rosemont. The second Murray Brothers Caddyshack location is slated to open in the Crowne Plaza Hotel by December. By Jonah Meadows, Patch Staff, July 5th, 2017. 2:50 p.m. Central Time. Updated July the 8th, 2017 at 4:23 p.m. Central Time. There's the picture of Bill Murray. I'll just read this small portion here. Rosemont, Illinois. Bill Murray's golf-themed bar and grill is scheduled to open by the end of the year at the Crowne Plaza Hotel in Rosemont, now that the actor and his family announced they have signed an agreement to lease space for the Murray Brothers Caddyshack restaurant. The Caddyshack actually opened on April 17, 2018, 4 months later than expected. I think this has a video, which really is... I watched the video, I believe that this is it. Yeah. It says Bill Murray, this is from WGN TV. Bill Murray and Brothers open Caddyshack restaurant today in Rosemont. It's wrote by Dean Richards 2 years ago. I'll play a small portion of this video.
Coming this fall.
Oh my goodness.
Life was normal for the Campbell family until they got a wacky new maid.
Maid? I'm not.
Why can't this new maid cook or clean?
Because I'm not the maid!
Brought to you by the Progressive Home and Auto Bundle and the maid.
Not a maid.
They literally just opened the doors to the restaurant for the first time. People pouring into the restaurant to check out the Murray Brothers Caddyshack, it's called. It's only the second in existence. Makes sense that it would be here since Bill Murray and all of his brothers grew up here in the Chicago area. It's kind of a golf-themed restaurant. Take a look at a little bit of the restaurant that we shot earlier. A golf-themed menu where there's potato, golf balls, and double bogey cheeseburgers and caddy shakes. Of course, the motto here is eat, drink, and be Murray. We talked with Bill and the brothers earlier. They had a little press conference, but we were able to grab Bill on the side and talk with him one-on-one to tell us a little about the restaurant, the movie, and his big concert that is coming up in Chicago this week.
It's the Murray Brothers Caddyshack restaurant. It's a big day for my family. It's my little brother Joel's birthday today, so we're all getting to eat for free, and he's probably going to get a cake in just a couple.
That's really what this is about, isn't it? Free food for Bill Murray, right?
I'm due. You know, we fought for every scrap we could get at the dinner table when we were kids, so this is nice to have, good-sized servings.
What's really cool is like it really sort of celebrates all the things that we relate to you best with. Caddyshack, among your many movies that we love. What does that still represent to you?
Well, pardon me. For us, it was really a breakthrough job for my brother Brian and myself. We really had the control of the reins. Harold Ramos was the director, and Harold was running the show, and he just let us go, and they turned the camera on and said, let's be funny, let's amuse each other. And that's what happened. A lot of that script written by those three guys, Brian and Harold and Doug Kenny, is fantastic, but then you had all these great actors that added more to it, and so it became a new way of making movies. You're out there with a great script to begin with, and then let them go, turn them on, and let them go. We did that.
Are people constantly shouting Caddyshack lines at you?
Yeah.
What's the one that you hear most often? It's in the hole?
I don't know. Yeah, in the hole. You get in the hole all the time, and I don't know. Out of nowhere. That's kind of stuff. I don't know. I look up at the wall.
They're all over the wall.
They're all over the wall.
It's only going to get worse. It's all over the walls here.
Yeah. I like it when they say someone else's line, like, pick up that blood. That's Brian's line. Hey.
You're more than welcome to go view that if you want. I stopped it there for a reason. It says, in fact, the kitchen that was under construction was the exact kitchen that the Caddyshack would be using for their new Caddyshack restaurant. Many of us, Justice for Kenneka supporters, wrote emails, letters, etc. to request that they speak up about Kenneka Jenkins and her lifeless body being found in the freezer in the kitchen that they were paying to have renovated that was left unsecured. They never responded to any of us, and in fact, finished the Caddyshack, had their grand opening, and are now cooking food in the very kitchen Kenneka Jenkins was found deceased in. If you call the Crown Plaza Hotel, they will lie and tell you that the Caddyshack is not using the same kitchen that Kenneka died in, which is a flat-out lie. I knew that the players in the cover-up of Kenneka Jenkins' murder were some pretty important higher-ups, but when I realized that it went all the way up to Hollywood, I started to see the reason for the cover-up. The Crown Plaza Hotel couldn't let a 19-year-old black girl from Chicago cost them the money they stood to make having the, quote, famous Murray Brothers Caddyshack restaurant in their hotel. They had to make sure that the deal went through, and they did exactly that. What they didn't expect was the thousands of Americans who wouldn't stop shouting from the rooftops for justice for that innocent 19-year-old girl. The day the Caddyshack opened, I and many others did a virtual tour to see what the inside looked like, and immediately my spirit was bothered, and so were many others. On top of the bar on the wall are the words, quote, pick up that blood. People say this is a line from the Caddyshack movie, and it may be, but why on earth would you write anything about blood in a restaurant where people are eating? And why would you write anything about blood in a restaurant where a young girl was found dead? The color scheme and black and white checkered patterns instantly scream, quote, owned by Illuminati members as well. The whole decor is just odd but revealing. I will add pictures of inside the Caddyshack when I add it to the thread. From the beginning of this case, a few things have really bothered me. The main thing is Kenneka's family, specifically her mother, Teresa. From her 911 call to her actions during the protests out front of the Crown Plaza Hotel. In the beginning of the case, we were introduced to Andrew Holmes, a, quote, community activist and, quote, crisis responder, who was shown the surveillance footage before Kenneka's family members by detectives. Andrew Holmes quickly got in front of the media, standing with two other activists named Jedediah Brown and Jamal Green, and Holmes stated that he saw the footage of Kenneka roaming the halls of the hotel and that he was given permission by Kenneka's mother to view the footage. He stated that nobody did anything to her. He said she was stumbling through the hotel and appeared drunk. He also stated he watched her walk into the kitchen where she eventually opened the freezer door, walked in, and never came back out. Here is a news story about this. Oh, I clicked it. The whole tweet. Hold on. Here we go. This is from amp.newser.com. This is activist. Video shows Kenneka Jenkins walk into freezer alone. And there's a picture of the Crown Plaza. It's by Rob Quinn, Newser staff. It's posted on September the 15th, 2017 at 3:27 a.m. and updated at September 15th, 2017 at 6:20 a.m. A Chicago activist said he has seen proof that some of the darker theories surrounding the death of teenager Kenneka Jenkins are untrue, Andrew Holmes says he has watched surveillance video that shows the 19-year-old walk into the Crown Plaza Hotel's walk-in freezer by herself. The Chicago Sun-Times reports, quote, "We all was wondering and wanted to know, did anybody pull her down there?" Holmes said, quote, "Did anybody force her down there? Was anybody on the other side in that room when she got down there?" And the answer to that is no. After a party at the Rosemont Hotel Friday night, Jenkins' friends said around 4 a.m. that she was missing. Her body was found in a freezer almost 24 hours later. And you're free to read that article as well. Almost immediately, Teresa Martin, Kenneka's mother, slammed Andrew Holmes, saying he misrepresented her family. Article about that here. That means it's no longer there. Anytime I get something crazy like that, it's a bad thread. You can type that in, though, and search it. If you just type in Teresa Martin and Andrew Holmes, you'll see exactly what she had to say about him. And basically, she said he had no right to look at that video, that she never authorized him to do that. Back to this. It says, then 1 hour after the press conference where Jedediah Brown stood with Jamal Green and Andrew Holmes, while Holmes stated he had permission from the family to view the surveillance, he is slammed by Jedediah Brown. Here is an article about that. This is from GuardianLV.com, titled Finding Truth and Justice for Kenneka Jenkins. It's wrote by Jeanette Smith on September 16, 2017. It says, I'll just read the first part here. People across the country are posting their support and showing up in person and online for protests outside the Crown Plaza Chicago O'Hare Hotel in Rosemont, Illinois. These protests have been held by the family and young people every night since a dead body was found in the hotel freezer. After 6 days, they are still without truth and justice. Kenneka Jenkins left her home at 11:30 p.m. Central Time on Friday, September the 8th, 2017, to attend a party with her friends at the Crown Plaza Hotel. She was encouraged to attend the event by her friend Irene Roberts, who recorded a private party with Jenkins and posted it on Facebook. The 19-year-old girl was not seen again until Sunday, when she was found in the hotel basement freezer. Finding information about Andrew Holmes was difficult for us, J4K researchers. It's like he just appeared out of nowhere. He seems to show up at murders and kidnappings and just happens to want to help the families. Here is information about him. And this is from DNAinfo.com. It says community activist Andrew Holmes honored for volunteer work. It's wrote by Wendell Hudson, February 27, 2014, 9:14 a.m. and updated that same day at that same time. That's odd. That's a picture of Andrew Holmes. Mayor Rahm Emanuel declared Wednesday, quote, Andrew Holmes Day, in honor of the longtime community activist who decided to help others after being shot 25 years ago. Emanuel thanked Holmes Wednesday during an appearance on the Steve Harvey Show. The segment, with Holmes is part of, quote, Harvey's Heroes, which is a recurring segment in which the host recognizes everyday people from across the country who are, quote, doing extraordinary things to uplift and inspire their communities, Harvey said. He also runs Operation Restoring Innocence.org, which you will be shocked to learn, quote, helps fight child sex trafficking, human trafficking. Shocker, right? Here's the website link to this organization. And this is the actual website, operationrestoringinnocence.org. You're more than welcome to check out this website. It just shows their mission statement. I'm sure there's a lot of information there. His team is rather interesting if any Anons would like to help out and dig. Carlos Rodriguez, President and CEO of Total Protection Consultants, Inc. These are the his team, Andrew Holmes' team right here. So he's got Carlos Rodriguez, President and CEO of Total Protection Consultants, Inc. Boguslaw Bozak, owner of Chicago Metal and Conrad Roofing of Illinois. Nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see here, folks. And finally, its other partner, Slawomir Wasaki, President of Chicago Metal Supply. And then he says, this person says, this is the end of part 3, but I'm working on part 4. If any Anons want to help me out, I'm more than happy to have some eyes on this and some good diggers as well helping. If you read all 3 parts, you can see the patterns that we have been seeing when researching the power players and their connections. Here we have prostitution, organ trafficking, child trafficking, funeral homes, medical examiners, police, mayor, Hollyweird. And I think I'm going to keep going with this. It says all connects to probably a huge criminal organization filled with evil crimes. Here are the pictures of the inside of the Caddyshack restaurant. I can't help but feel a certain kind of way when I see this. And there's that says pick up that blood. Here's some more pictures. Excuse me. So when I saw this thread by @PolicyBlade001 about this purple movement, I was reminded of how adamant Kenneka's mother's family and friends were about purple being her favorite color and asking everyone to wear purple to the protest in front of the Crown Plaza Hotel and to her funeral. Let's see what this is. Cannot retrieve, I can't talk. Cannot retrieve tweet at this time. Alright. Also, I have to go find the video, hopefully it's still up on YouTube, of the funeral. Towards the end, at the cemetery, a man who I swear to this day is one of the Murray brothers, hands a box of white doves to Lenore, Kenneka's sister, and then she releases them. First, why would a Murray brother be at her funeral when they refused to even acknowledge her death? Second, they kept calling her Purple Child. Until I read that thread that we can't pull up, I never understood why. Too many coincidences. I will link the video so you all can see. Here is the video. The white man in the pink shirt and tie. Is this a Murray brother? I can't say for a fact it is, but many others thought the same thing. Start at 2 minutes and 52 seconds. Let's see what we got here. Hopefully this is still there.
Family, for the strength that only you can give. God, we trust you and we believe you by faith.
It's close enough.
You want to see Bird? What's up? Right now. Over here.
Everybody, if we can step back. Jazz,
Step back now.
Jazz,
Anytime you come in.
come back.
Come back, babe.
Who's going to release the one, Dove?
Mama. You want to read this one? No, she gonna do it. The Noah gonna release.
Now have a special present. Step back, Jeff.
Step back. Anytime you come back. Come back, babe.
Who's going to release the one, Dove?
Mama. You want to read this one? No, she gonna do it. The Noah gonna release.
Now have a special presentation for the family and friends.
Come back, son. Come back, son.
Come on, back this way.
Okay.
There you go.
Very good. Thank you. Hands right on the shoulders, nice and firm. Whenever you're ready, sweetheart. Sit your leg with free. Give you a little pause. Back up.
We love you! Hold on, Quinn.
Back to this. I'll have to do a screenshot of that and see what this guy really looks like. It says, I'm working on part 4 as we speak, so please stay tuned, as part 4 will be where I highlight the, quote, gatekeepers of this case. And I think I'll save part 4 for the next part of my series. So, this is part 2, and part 1 is actually uploading now, so thanks for watching, and I'll link everything in the description box so that you can go check out this stuff for yourself if you choose to do so. Thanks, guys.